Hello everybody, my name is Robert Afri, and the fire type is a staple type being in every single generation. Not only that, it's known for its mediocre defenses and mediocre type advantages. When it's good, it's really good, but when it's bad, it's really bad. Anyways, the rules for the challenge are, I can only catch the first type or fire type I encounter on each route, no items in battle. If a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead, and I can no longer use them. And I can't out level the gym leader's ace. And the final rule is no legendaries, which doesn't matter for the challenge because you can't get any. But I'm saying it now so you know that I can't get any later. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you to subscribe and like, helps out the channel, and comment any other ideas or things I could do for a challenge video. But without all that said, I'm finally done. Without further ado, let's get started. I start my journey like many others by meeting the professor, picking my gender, then my name, calling myself Butterfree, of course, then naming my rival USA, for you will see why later. Anyways, I'm able to quickly pick my starter, and I obviously pick Tepig as he's the only one that is obviously a fire type. I call him Walter MPL, and then he's the only encounter I can get before the first gym. After being my rival and beating up another Team Plasmacron, I see my Tepig's nature, and he's a minus special attack nature and a plus speed, which isn't bad for an Emboar, but still not ideal. Outcome, now it's time for the first gym leader. I use Ember on his Patrat as he ends up using Work Up. I use another Ember, was hitting me with a tackle that does very little damage. I burn it, so its next tackle is much weaker. As he potions up, I'm able to use, after I use Work Up, I'm able to hit it with an Ember and then a tackle and then take it out. I'll come to Lillipup, and this is where I lose. Not for any reason that I can say, but it's because he was able to get off a Work Up, so I was using Defense Code like an idiot. Then I started switching to Tail Whip, but before he started using tackles, I just couldn't win. And then he used a second Work Up, which I ended up killing me. So I have to lick my wounds, going to attempt to. Now I use a defense curl against his Patrat as it uses a Work Up. Then I use another defense curl as he uses another Work Up. I am using Ember and he uses a third Work Up. I use another Ember, and one tackle doesn't do any damage as I've already used my old defense curls. I burn it again and then take it out next time with the burn. So now it's time for the Lillipup. I use Ember and it burns it, which is great because burns half your attack. So after I use a couple more burns and a tackles combo, I'm able to seize victory against Cherin, getting the basic badge. Next, in the Verbank complex, I'm trying to get my second team member, which is going to be a Growlithe that I'm able to name Revolver. And also, just before Roxy's gym, I'm able to evolve Walter MPL into a Pignite. And now I'm able to let off a strategy that I've always wanted to use. Out comes Roxy's coughing, and I use Work Up, and it uses Tackle. Then I use another Work Up, and it uses another Tackle. Then I use a third Work Up, and it uses a third Tackle. Then I hit it with Flame Charge and immediately take it out. Next out comes a Whirlipede, and Whirlipede is a bug type which is weak to fire. It uses one Protect, it's only one of my turns, but another Flame Charge can take it out, giving me my second gym badge, the Toxic badge. After dealing with stupid PokéStar Studio stuff, I'm finally able to go to Castelia City, the site of the third gym leader. But in the desert resort, I'm able to catch a Darumaka with increased difficulty, thinking no one get into ball. So after I eventually am able to catch it, I head it to the team, naming it Machine Gun. Then after I go through the sewers, I'm able to find an Eevee and a little patch of grass in the sewers, I can't remember what it's called. I catch him and end up naming him Pistol. I can't use him because he's a normal type, but until I get a Fire Stone, so he's in the box for now. Now Cypherberg. Obviously since I'm using only 5 types, it's not going to be that hard. Comes to Swadloon, and 1 flame and 2 flame charges from Revolver are able to take it down to half. But after I hit it with another flame charge, I'm able to take it out. Now it's time for Dwebble, which since it's part rock type, it's not weak to fire, which is annoying, but I have another strategy that I use against Roxy. After I'm contemplating if I should Work Up, I end up using one. Then it uses Rock Polish, boosting its speed. Then I start going for Arm Thrust as it goes for Smackdowns. Smackdown isn't doing as much as I thought, but I end up being a little bit risky using another workup. Then I use a Flame Touch to boost my speed, taking it out the next turn. Or which I would do, but he heals up. Anyways, I take it down to half, and I use another Flame Touch to take it down to the red, and then taking it out. But his Leavanny is 4 times weak to fire, and I could kill it with one Flame Charge. I'd be risky, I hit it, and I take the dub. Meaning I'm able to get the Insect Badge with only a couple close calls. Then in the Desert Resort, I'm forced to fight Colress, and this isn't important to the run. I just want to point out how easy he was. I used one Arm Thrust and he never was able to paralyze me because of my attack, because of my speed boosting nature. And 2 Arm Thrusts can easily take out his Clink. Again, very fun. Then in the bottom part of the Desert Resort, someplace near a big rock, after watching a guide, I'm able to find a Firestone. There we go, find a Firestone. Facing the wrong way. Then I was watching these based people tell you something to do something super based. I end up having to go and telling you to do another based comment. I end up being able to evolve Pistol into a Flareon, finally being able to be used on the team for my one Pokemon, which is Revolver, which is really, really bad. And I realized he has a special defense lowering nature but a speed boosting one. I catch a Panzer I named Shotgun, and I'm able to move on to the next gym fight, which I would say before I have to get Rock Gym Team, which I teach to Darumaka. Anyways, now it's time for Elisa, and she leads off with her Moga, which is why I send out my pre-paralyzed machine gun, and then I miss because Muramaka has one of the worst abilities possible called Hustle. But I forget I put it Facade, so it's already being paralyzed. Actually boosts Facade's power. But Hustle is terrible. It makes it miss so much. Anyways, I hit it with a rollout, and it starts using a Volt Switch, which is actually beneficial because if I don't get paralyzed, I can keep hitting them with rollouts and just sweep her team. She heals her Fluffy, but my rollout is still being boosted. So as her Zip Striker is coming out, I hit it with a powerful rollout, but then I have to switch because it gets me down to too low. Anyways, a couple Fire Fangs from the newly evolved Pistol are easily able to take it out. Now it's time to evolve with the increased level cap. I'm able to evolve Water MPL into an M-Ball and Darumaka into Darmanitan. And I see I was actually checking Clay's challenge mode level up team, which is 36. It was actually 33, which I'm sorry about, but it's just a mistake I made. Don't worry, it won't happen again in the video. Anyways, I yawn his Kakarot to switch out into Pistol. Then I have to sack Pistol as I use a bunch, and I mean a bunch of Sand Attacks to lower its accuracy, which then I switch back in. Easy Torment on my Shotgun, but after I get my yawn off, I then switch into Walter MPL, which gets crunched, which doesn't do anything because again I'm a fighting type. I use a workup as he's full fast asleep. I use another workup as he's still asleep. Then I use an Arm Thrust and take it out. After his Sand Slash comes out, I use another Arm Thrust, but one Bulldoze comes out to low and lowers my speed. So I think if I have to switch, or if I'll speed it. I switch into Shotgun, who tanks Bulldoze, but then I saw I can get a free switch into my Darmanitan. Now I'm wondering what move to use, as if I use a Go for Ability Drop, I can boost my attack, but one strength just takes it out. Out comes his Excadrill, and one Sheer Force boosted Flare Blitz end up taking it out, granting me the Quake Badge. Well, this is disheartening, but Flareon isn't very good. It's a physical attacker, and there's almost no physical fire moves that this thing learns. It's only good until Gen 6. Anyways, after winning the PWC handily by beating both my rival, then Cherin, then beating Colress, in back-to-back fashion with my starter, I end up doing it a couple more times, but I find the Volcarona, and this is a cool thing. because I wouldn't be able to use a Larvesta since it evolves super late and also is found super late. But finding this is like just a godsend, and you will see why. Because unbeknownst to me, this thing would carry one of the biggest battles in the run. So stay tuned to see that, because this thing was a monster. I catch it, I name it 950 JDJ Fat Man, and I'm able to, in the PWC building, I'm able to buy 2 extra Firestones with my BP, and I'm able to evolve my Revolver into an Arcanine and my Pansy into a Semi-Seer. One quick and uneventful trip to the Celestial Tower, I'm able to catch myself a Litwick, giving me good ghost coverage. Then it's time for Skylar. Out comes her Woobat and I send out Semi-Seer. It hits me for Heart Stamp, but one Fire Blast takes it down to red. She heals up, but I take it with a Crunch. Another Crunch ends up taking it out. Next up is her Swanna, a Water type. It hits me with Bubble Beam, killing Shotgun. Out comes Machine Gun, and it ends up getting with Feather Dance, which lowers its attack, meaning this Rock Tomb doesn't do as much as it's supposed to. One Bubble Beam taking down to Yellow, so I end up having to switch out into Walter MPL. Either comes out, I'm debating what to do, and uses another Feather Dance on me, but I hit it with an Assurance. One extra taking down to Yellow, and I use another Assurance. And after it takes me down to really low, so I switch out into Revolver. And the Revolver comes out, I use it with an Extreme Speed, it's taken down to half by a Bubble Beam, and one more Extreme Speed takes it out. Now it's time for Skarmory, which is weak to fire, poetic irony in its finest. So, I debate on using if I can use a Fire Fang or a Flamethrower because of my special attack being higher than my physical attack, but another Fire Fang takes it out, winning me the Jet Badge. Well, Semi-Seer lived like how he died, uneventfully and for something that was completely avoidable, but it was necessary for the run, so we salute the man, the myth, the legend that was Revolver. To boost my team's morale and power, I evolve Minigun the Litwick into Lampent. Then after I do that, I'm able to find a number that I catch and name Bazooka. After that, I evolve it by 1 level into a Camerupt. Then, in the One Haunted House, I find a Dusk Stone, evolving my Lampent into a Chandelure. After a long and pretty arduous trek, with many close calls, I end up finding this man with a 9900 winning streak, and I beat immediately. Then, it's time for Drayden. Out comes the Drayden, and I use Curse. He uses Slash on me, which takes me down to half. Then, I use another Curse, as he uses Crunch, taking me down to the red. So now, I debate switching, or if I should keep it in. I decide to keep it in, as he uses a Crunch on me. I use another Curse, as he uses another Crunch, doing basically nothing. Then I hit it with Rock Slide, which makes it flinch. I use a Lava Plume on the next turn, which doesn't do very much, but it burns it. Use Dragon Tail, switching out my Machine Gun, which is amazing. One Strength takes it out. Out comes Flygon, which is a ground type, which my entire team is weak to. I send out Revolver, and I hit it with a Hidden Power, and its Hidden Power typing is Dragon, doing big damage. I use an Extreme Speed, take it down to the red, but a next Earth Power takes out Revolver. I send out Minigun, which is faster, but he heals up, meaning I use a Hex, which takes down to half. One Earth Power takes me down to half though, but I'm able to take it out with a net of a Hex. Out comes Haxorus, which is terrifying. One Assurance does big damage, but I burn it with my Flame Body ability. I send out Walter MPL, which is a workup, then I use a Dragon Dance, but one Brick Break is able to take it out. Oof, scary battle, but I get myself the Legend Badge. Revolver was there for a long time on the team, but he died, and basically doing what he did best, which was supporting the team and clutching up to win tough battles. Now stuff gets crazy as the pirate ship that Team Plasma is pirating ends up having a cannon inside that freezes the entirety of the city. After I beat Zinzan with comic fashion, as he's an ice type user, and I'm able to actually break a light screen, which never happens with Brick Break. Again, not eventful battle. I just really like showing stuff like this off because again, it's super fun. But what's not fun is Marlin's water type gym. After a sunny day, so water type moves only do half. His Karakosta gets taken down to half by Hex, but uses a Shell Smash. But now I think it might outspeed, so I don't know if I should switch. But I outspeed it, then get down with a neck with a Hex. Out comes Wailord, and I hit it with a Hex, which does a medium amount of damage. One Scold almost takes me out, so I switch out into Walter MPL. Now I use a Brick Break, which does good enough damage. He uses Bounce, so I wonder if I can survive it, so I switch out into Bazooka. One bounce comes out and paralyzes me, but he heals up the next turn. I use another Brick Break though, taking down to half. He uses Amnesia, but luckily Brick Break is a physical move, taking it out. Out comes Jellison, and I am now pondering. I send out Volcarona, who I'm banking on hitting it with a Fire Spin, which it does. But its Curse Body ability, then another Skull takes me down to half. So I switch into another Hex, takes it out, getting me the Wave Badge, bruh. Now it's time for Cold Rest, and again, I'm showing this battle because it's super fun. But I try attack is doing way too much to my Bazooka, and Bazooka is not doing enough with its Earthquake and its Sturdy ability, which I forget it has. So now I switch into Walter MPL, which one Flamethrower takes it down, but it burns it, but it paralyzes me, which is again really annoying. He's about to send out his Magnezone, which I could take out, but you know, it's again way too scary. So I send out Machine Gun, which uses one Bazooka, but it paralyzes me again, and I no longer have Facade. But use Explosion, which almost takes me out. But don't worry, I'm able to switch. I live, but it's fine. I set up the Sunny Day as it hits me with a rock slide, which does a lot. But it's another rock slide, but I'm able to hit it with a Hex, then taking it out. Now it's time for Kling Klang, which I switch into Volcarona, and it uses Gear Shift, but my Fire's been doing a lot of damage, so it's on the Shift Gear, but I switch into Walter MPL, which they will take it out. Out comes this BHM, and one Hex takes down to half. Use a Pathetic Carmine, no healing item for him, so I'm able to use another Hex, taking it out. Now it's time for White Q-Rem, which two superpowers take it out because for some reason uses the Fusion Flare, which I resist, and I take it out of a Rock Tomb. Now it's time for Getsis. Out comes his Cofagrigus, and I send out Minigun, who he uses with a Hex. He uses Toxicom instead of Shadow Ball, which is awesome. I'm able to take it out of another Hex though. Now out comes his Seismitoad, which is a ground and water type. But I send out 950 JDJ Fatman, which a Signal Beam does. It takes down half. I level Muddy Water, and another mini Signal Beam takes it out. Now it's into Water MPL for Dragon. It used Dragon Rush on me, but I use Brick Break, and due to its recoil damage, I take it out. Now it's time for Drapion, which I send out Bazooka for, which I'm banking on Earthquake to take it out, but I use Curse, but it has Earthquake, which I didn't know it had. But I wonder if I can live another one, and I hit with my Earthquake, and I'm able to take the victory. Now it's time for his Electros, which is not weak to ground because of its Levitate ability. But I'm able to switch out into Machine Gun, and one Flare Blitz crucifies it, making Roast Eel. But now it's time for Toxicroak, and my team is really hurting. I don't think I don't think anyone can really take it out. So I have to bank on another Flare Blitz, and it takes out, making a good nice frog legs for the French. Now it's time for the Elite Four. Now it's time for Caitlyn, and I use Quiver Dance as it hits me with a Yawn. And you take it out of Signal Beam the next turn. So now it's time. I learned Heat Wave, which is going to be, again, beneficial. You will see why I'm saying all this and hyping up this Volcarona. Okay, now comes Decision Lift, which, before I go to sleep, I think I have to switch though, because Air Slash is a lot. But then I'm able to switch into Minigun, which takes a Psychic very well. Then the Hectic takes it out. Then it's time for Gothitelle, which I use a Hex for. It uses Shadow Ball on me, taking me down to low, but I end up switching into 950 JDJ Fatman, which special defense gets lowered, but my Signal Beam takes it out the next turn. Now it's time for a Uniclus, and I do a quick dance, with a Psychic, I live it, I hit it with Signal Beam, I kill it, I win. Next up is Grimsley. Out comes his Life Hurt, and I send out Machine Gun. It fake counts me though, and then outs me with a nice slash. But one superpower takes it out. Next is his Crocodile, which I forgot he had. I lower my tackles, but I end up eating the Intimidate, so I switch out into Bazooka, which gets Earthquake, and then I live on 1 HP, so I can able to switch into 950 JDJ Fatman, which is able to take it out with a Signal Beam. Out comes his Crafty, and I hit it with a Signal Beam, takes it down to half. One Rock Tomb does a lot, goes my speed as well, so I end up switching into Water MPL. 1 point that doesn't do that much, and I take it over Brick with the next turn. Now it's time for his Bishop, which is 4 times weak to fighting, by the way. Then I went against Grimsley. Now it's time for Sean Tour. Out comes her own Grigus, and I send out Minigun. I hit with a Hex, and hit with a Shadow Ball, taking it down to half. Then I with another Hex, I use a full restore. Then I take it out. Now it's time for her Roller, which I'm sweating against, because it has a very powerful Earthquake, and also is super effective against my only one I can put that damage for. Anyways, I send out Bazooka, and I'm praying, just praying for really anything to happen with my Earthquake. I live though, I hit with Earthquake, means I take enough chip damage, that 1 Hex can take it out for the next turn. Out comes Drifblim, and I hit it with a Hex, take it down to the red, then switch into Water MPL, which takes it down with another Heat Crash. Now it's time for her own Chandelure, and then I send out Machine Gun for who hits with a Rock Tomb, takes down half. It hits me with a Shadow Ball, takes me down to half. I outspeed the Rock Tomb, don't miss, take it, I kill it, again I win. Now it's time for Marshall, which none of my team is good against. I send out Bazooka, and then use set up a Curse. It hits me with a Rock Tomb, which deals my speed, but it doesn't matter. He uses a Payback, and I use another Curse. He uses another Payback, and I use Earthquake, taking it down to the half. I use another Payback, and I use Earthquake, taking it out. Now, me and Shao get sent out. He uses a high jump kick, which went to half, but I end up burning it with my lava plume, I mean. I end up having heals up as I end up using lava plume. I use a high jump kick, but I end up using rock slide, so I switch out into Minigun, set up the sun as uses bounce. I missed my Will-O-Wisp, but I burn it with my flame body ability. Out comes Conkeldurr, and I'm now sweating, but I use it with a Hex. Then I have to switch out, and one Flare Blitz takes it out. Out comes the Sword, which has Sturdy. I break Sturdy with Rock Tomb. He uses Rock Slide on me. Then I'm able to hit it with a Flare Blitz and take it out, beating the Elite Four. Now it's time for Iris. I was sweating, I was planning, so I send out 950 JDD Fatman, and he goes crazy. He tanks a Surf, and then proceeds, as he uses a full restore, I use Quiver Dance. Then JDD Fatman goes off. It kills our Dragon with 1 hit. Out comes Druddigon, which I kill with another Signal Beam. Takes it to half, but it misses its Rock Slide, then takes it out the next turn. Out comes her Archeops, which again I was scared of because it's a flying type and a rock type. But 1 Heat Wave takes it out. Next is our Aggron, and 1 Heat Wave takes it out. Out comes Lapras, and you will not believe what happens. My Signal Beam doesn't kill it, and it uses Sing on me, putting me to sleep. So that's why I thought, 950 JDD Fatman is gonna die to the Surf, but it doesn't. It wakes up and then kills it. Then it's time for her Haxorus, and you will not believe what happens. This Signal Beam picks down to the red, but its Focus Sash saves it. That means if that didn't have a Focus Sash, I would have swept Iris with JDD Fatman, which is insane. Whoa. It uses a Dragon Dance, but my Will-O-Wisp and my bird takes it out, winning me the league. Now, if that's not a stellar performance from 1950 JJ Fatman, I don't know what is. Thank you for watching, and hope to see that this playthrough was more of your liking. If you liked it, like and subscribe again. Comment anything else you want me to do. And with that all said and done, respect your mum, respect your dad, be a good person in general, be the person you want to be in the world. And I was able to celebrate the 5 Pokemon I ended up winning the league with, which just took me so far. It just, they were all just so beautiful. With 950 JD Fatman, the Volcarona, Machine Gun the Domanitan, Walter MPL the Emboar, Minigun the Chandelure, and finally Bazooka the Camerupt. Thank you all for watching. That was the Green Butterfree, and always remember, people, stay in the Green Butterfree flock. Thank you for watching. See ya. Bye.